I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. It's the voices. I'm kidding. That's not what they really said.
Folks, Richard Moore, USAGSA. And they have got with me Ty Eakes, and he has a platform, and his website is Neuropsych Warfare. Is that right, Ty?
Yes, neuropsychwarfare.org.
So neuropsychwarfare.org. Now, folks, the final frontier is not space, it's not the border, it's your consciousness. That is the final frontier. And big tech and the government and a lot of people are involved in treating our brain, your brain, my brain, like an open Wi-Fi network. And when we're talking about this technology and what's going on, this is not new. I hadn't spent a lot of time on it, but I think now there's no time like the present. California has got some very, very, very weak laws that they have passed for your consciousness, your rights, and they're just weak, and there's big problems there. You think that? I think the fry effect that's been around since the 60s. None of this is hocus pocus. For a long time, Ty, these people talking about the things that we're talking about, we were marginalized and dismissed as crazies. And now the people that deny this technology, deny what this technology is doing, are quickly becoming the crazies. So it's maybe who's crazy now. And maybe you should wear a tinfoil hat, and all those things that you thought were funny are no longer funny. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, that's what does it mean for us in humanity? Unless I hate to use the word wake up and start being proactive in this, it doesn't look good. You think that it was just amazing. You're talking about something and thinking about something, and lo and behold, you log into Facebook, and there it is in your feed, talking about the very thing you was thinking about. Now, folks, y'all can write this stuff off as just whatever. God's not doing it, I can tell you that. Or just a coincidence, which I don't believe in coincidences. And I don't know, I hadn't talked with Ty about this, but we know that I believe it's back in I was looking at my notes in the 2016 election, Cambridge Analytica with their ocean model, they harvested data from 87 million Facebook users without them knowing it, without their permission. And with that data they got from 87 million Facebook users, they were able to manipulate the thoughts and minds of millions. That's a historical fact, okay? This is not hocus pocus. So there's a lot of things on the table, and it may make those that many people rethink the way you are comprehending things as who the enemy is and what is going on. So what say you, Ty? I've talked about a lot of things here, and obviously we're not going to, I just want to kind of break the ice, if you will, and introduce you to my audience here. And I believe you probably can speak more effectively on this subject than I can. So tell us, give us your thoughts on what I've just mentioned. We can talk, is remote neural monitoring, is it real? What is it? V2K, is it real? What is it? The people were crazy where they said they were direct energy weapons are being used against them, but until they started happening in these embassies, then they called it Havana syndrome, and all of a sudden, these targeted individuals, this represents hundreds of thousands of people globally, are not having mass delusions, they're talking about that something's real, something's very real, and the purpose of that is, folks, is total. This social engineering program is total control, and if they got your mind, they've got everything. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk a little bit, Ty.
That's exactly right, Richard. So we believe that the cognitive liberty and the fight for cognitive liberty rights is the civil rights movement of our time right now.
Cognitive liberty, exactly. There's no precedence, folks. There's no law. There's nothing on the books that this is not a Fourth Amendment right. This is your Fourth Amendment protects you, your property, and your papers, but it does not protect your consciousness, and that, my friend, is a problem. And can your consciousness? You think my Thai people? I've said this many times that your thoughts are your original organic thoughts. Not so fast. Not so fast.
Exactly, and these technologies have been around for a very long time. They were originally using them on the Russians were originally using them on our embassy in Moscow, I believe. I think they called it the Moscow Signal at first, and then they did a whole project, I believe it was Project Pandora, just letting the Russians continue so that they could study what they were doing, so that they could figure out the methods of this technology and how they could reverse engineer it and use it for their own uses. So it's been around for a long time, and they say they don't know what Havana syndrome is, but I'm finding tons of research and tons
of this label Havana syndrome stemmed out of the embassy in Havana, Cuba, I believe, and being hit with a direct energy weapon. And it explained to the layperson what a direct energy. We talk about direct energy weapons, folks. Let me tell you, that's a broad brush. That's a broad brush.
Exactly. Directed energy weapon technology can be used for a lot of different things, and many of them are publicly known about and publicly talked about. There's the LRAD system. This is designed for crowd control.
Okay, this is LRAD. This is what is LRAD? It's an acronym for what?
I'm not sure the exact like laser array or something, but essentially it's another microwave directed energy weapon that is used and it's basically doing the same thing as these other weapons. It's just used for a different purpose. It's used for crowd control. These people get when it's used that way. It's irresistible. They have to move whenever and get out of the way whenever the LRAD system is used on them. And it's been used in protests and in riots and those types of situations. And
it was used by the United States military in Venezuela. And those officers in the military there, they were on the news saying, "We what hit us?" I mean, people were just, literally, their brains were exploding, hemorrhaging,
right,
passing out,
And that's the discombobulator. That's an even higher powered microwave weapon. So basically, they're just turning up the power, and there's more deadly and destructive effects. And these effects have been known about. They're extensive military bio effects of microwave studies. There's a few of them.
Now, the graphene oxide that's in these COVID shots. Am I saying it right? The graphene.
Yes.
Isn't that respondent to a frequency?
Yes. A lot of people believe that's being used as some sort of antenna and some sort of way it interacts with the frequency in some way. And then there's
and folks, I've seen some people going to cemeteries and taking something that's more sensitive. Has more sophistication than your regular tri-field meter, because these are very low frequencies, and nobody there, nothing, and these graves where people have died from the jab are still alive, and they're giving signals. Where do they do that at? So there's a lot of things going on in the world today with this. It's the file dump, the war, the everything.
Right.
That's all done, folks. All of this is a distraction. It's all distraction. It's information overload. And so you just take a vacation with your brain, so I can't do anything about what to do. And you're scrolling endlessly, reading stupid shit, listening to people talk about stupid shit about nothing. And while you're doing that, everything that you own, everything that you ever wanted to be, have, or do, everything that you love is being taken from you without you even knowing it.
Mm-hmm. And this self-assembling nanotech is what's building up inside of the people, and moving that system that's emitting the signals that you're seeing in the graves. And these systems are actually powered. The reason they keep going is because they're powered by the microwaves. I've seen the patents. The microwaves literally power the nanotech systems, and so that's why they keep going, even in the grave.
How the microwaves? This is like a BCI. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, that's one use of it. That's one use of it for sure. It's a very it's a system of many different technologies put together, and has a lot of different uses. But once this nanotechnology gets in the brain, there's actually a DARPA brainstorms is, I think, pretty much the technology. They have these nanoparticles coated in these fluorescent polymers, so that your immune system doesn't attack them, and then they get into your brain, and then they're able to detect the electromagnetic signals of your synapses in your brain, and basically get
all this is in nanotech. That how these nanoparticles being introduced to the human brain and body. But other than the jail, let's talk about how the masses being introduced to this with non-consensual.
Exactly. It's unconsensual, and there's a few different proposed ways that it's getting in, but besides the vaccines and some other medicines like dental medication, and the chemtrails is another, and sometimes some people even think in the food supply, because the food supply has gotten more and more sketchy as time's gone on.
Yeah, the food supply is the soil, the food supply chain is complete. You could get free range organic, but if it's free range anywhere on this planet, you're still there. Nobody's safe.
Right.
Now, who would want to manipulate the masses? Who would want to control this deal? We've narrowed it down, and who is capable of doing all this? Well, some of the players and the culprits. We have to start with Planeteer, which they own Flock Safety, Google, Meta, Elon Musk, and Planet Labs. Planet Labs has 200 plus satellites in orbit that give you an instant real-time data of anything going on the globe. Now, what feeds this deal, Ty, is of course data, and this is like I said, the last frontier is human consciousness. And if we sit by what is the downside of this? Everything being controlled. Can you give us some examples of that?
Exactly. Data is the new oil, and neurodata is the cream of the crop. It's the most expensive, and it has the most promising future. They're using it to train these AI systems that can predict our behavior even better. So there are many reasons that they would want to unconsensually ingest this data, because it's really hard to get this type of data, especially from because it's pretty hard to get it, but the reward they get from it is it really enriches them and allows them to build even stronger, more capable systems to track people and then to alter their mood and their emotions. Exactly.
And that's going on now. I mean, when you are complaining, people that the TI community, if you will, which is hundreds of millions that are targeted through various programs like community-oriented policing and so forth, and they're constantly trying to put the finger on who's doing what. Well, we know that the framework that it works within, but we got to ask ourselves this question: the people that are participating in this, they're targeting other innocent lives. How much are they being manipulated? How much are they, when they really say that they're not doing anything, they really believe that? But they are. If that's your example of this control that's already in place, folks. It's here, and that's what we can't just sit back. We've got to be very aggressive. If we're not, it's just it's already here. We're already, I believe, in the age of singularity. We've got AI that human population on this planet collectively can't keep up with AI. AI is not going to stop. It can't be stopped. Musk and the rest of them can't tell you how it's doing what it's doing. They can't explain that. And we see the data centers popping up everywhere. Even when the townspeople and everybody said, well, these people's got this land over here, they're going to build a data center. Well, everybody votes, and hell knows it. You know what they do? They build it anyway. They build it anyway. Right. And that's brazen, isn't it? And you know what the attorneys say for the county and the state? Well, we don't have the money. We don't have billions to fight these folks. And so you'll go down, and AI is going to remember you as one of the ones that did one there. I mean, folks, let me tell you, this is the beast if there ever was a beast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly why this is exactly why they need those data centers, because the silver lining is right now they don't currently have enough GPU power to use AI to actively monitor every person on the earth, or even every person in the country. But that's what they're working for with building these data centers. They need more data centers so that they can do more autonomously without humans overseeing it, or with humans only being in the loop rather than having to oversee these operations, these data collection operations. They want to automate more of it. So that's why right now we really, really, really need to advocate for neural protections for neural data before this gets out of hand. And
how do we push for this neuro protections? Because California has put a couple things in there, and it's weak as this week, folks, and it's not there. But I can tell you that the Bill of Rights and the United States Constitution does not protect you from this enemy, and the enemy is the non-consensual intrusion into our brains, and it's there. And how do you stop it? How do you govern it? And that's what we're talking about. So, what do you think needs to happen, Ty?
So, actually, in 2001, around the time that Russia passed their law banning these types of neuro weapons, there was actually a bill called the Space Bill, and it had included within the bill, it was a really good bill. It was banning all types of directed energy weapons from unconsented use and neural data capture. I think it covered as well. But the reason that it didn't pass and that it was shot down is because it also had provisions about aliens and UFO technology that, especially at that time, it just wasn't the time for that kind of stuff. Everybody was still, doubting it.
Now might be the time for it. And folks, I'm not going to get on an alien kick. I've got this, but I'm just saying everything's on the table. Everything's on the table, and we assume, don't assume that Trump or anybody else is going to save the day by stopping anything. He can't stop this. If he could stop, if he wanted to. Okay, but we've got to have protection. We can't put a governor tie on AI and what AI is and the capabilities of AI, but it's not just AI, but it's the mechanisms that they're all tied together. That's weaponizing these frequencies. And folks, we're all in a petri dish. The targeted individuals, like I was trying to say in the beginning, this social engineering control project has been in the works for years. For years. And how did they fine tune and how did they perfect their craft? By experimenting of human beings. And so we've been a part of a big experiment. Even those that believe they're part of the solution, part of the community, a safer and better place for America and all that, are also part of the experience. They're being manipulated, neighbor against neighbor, see something, say something, and they're all caught up in that. But meanwhile, back to the range, you've got the puppet master is controlling the feed, your brain, your neighbor's brain, and playing both ends against the middle. That's why you have the race. It's the black and white, Republican, Democrat. All this going on. And folks, this is we're not even having dialogue anymore. If you're not my political party or not my race, whatever, it's we're in the age of fuck around and find out. That's all people. They're ready to kill each other. Not understanding that the one and the evil that's behind this deal is something that we all, if we don't take a step back and get out of this narrow-minded deal with these blinders on, it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. We've got the generation Z. That's the last letter, folks. That's the last deal. This is the fat lady is singing, and now's the time to take action. And that's the reason I've got Ty on here. He's this is really his forte. I'm if I let him talk, he can speak better on it. Right now, give us I already asked you that, but give us some more examples of how this weaponization of frequencies, if you will, is affecting people.
Okay. Yeah. So there's actually two main ways that it can affect people. Subliminally, where they use the Frey effect to subliminally send a message to your cochlear.
So it bypasses your ears. It bypasses your ears and goes straight to the brain. Is that right?
Exactly. It bypasses your ears and goes straight to the brain.
But that's a patented, proven technology. Folks have been around for a long time.
Exactly. It was first discovered, I think, when they were first discovering radio, and people really close to the radio equipment would realize that they were hearing clicks within their head, and then they took that and they refined it, and they
people associate a lot of these symptoms are associated with tinnitus. So go ahead, Si. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, and they figured out how to refine it so that it could make words. And the tinnitus is another thing about it. That's like the background sound, the background signal of the system. The system seems to always be emitting a background signal. And my tinnitus started right when these symptoms started, and it seems to be the signal that they build everything else on top of to make the sounds.
Now, and folks, maybe some of you are not picking up what we're putting down. So can we suggest this, that a lot of things that are immediately written off as a psychosis or a physical ailment can be contributed to something that is happening not by accident but by design?
Exactly. So the other way is they use the Frey effect to straight up talk to people, and the people around cannot hear because it goes straight into that person's brain.
So straight to their brain. And so when you say that, are you hearing voices, folks? That's all it takes. That so and so killed and butchered, mowed down all these people, and neighbors say that he had been complaining for a long time of hearing voices. Well, that was a psychopath. No. Now, like I said, the deniers are now the crazies. Okay, exactly. This MK Ultra program and all these programs supposed to be banned. They never went away. But we always they always try to put a boogeyman or a crazy behind it. one example of a MK Ultra project gone wrong or gone right, where they could build these compartments that anybody that raises any question here, we're going to make them crazy. We're going to invent diagnosis. And so they gave us a boogeyman, the poster child for MK Ultra, and what it's capable of and doing to another human being is Charles Manson. Okay, Charles Manson, that whole deal was a CIA psyop, and then the false diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia and all the other ones, that is bullshit, made up and co-signed with the mental health community. It's a made-up diagnosis. That's to match the weapons and the things that are being done to the human population. So at least you be put Baker acted and be painted as a nut job, then you just don't talk about it. Don't complain. Take your punishment, take your torture, and keep your mouth shut. Is that a fair assessment, Ty?
Exactly. It used to discredit people so that, everybody that it happens to is afraid to come out about it. And whenever they do come out about it, they end up involuntarily committed. Like happened to another activist very recently, Romola D. She's
right.
on Substack.
I don't know her personally. I'm familiar with her. Yeah. Tell us about her deal if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, she's had 2 involuntary commitments. The first time she was going to her child's principal to tell them what was happening, and she just wanted to protect her kid and just to let them know the situation. And the principal reported her and
her neighbor also said they were scared of her. So she never bothered them people. This is somebody. Right. Has she written books or anything?
Uh-huh. I believe so.
Yeah, so we're talking about. We're not talking about folks that somebody just crawled out from under a bridge. Okay, they've been in the crazy column for a long, long time. But you think that itself would stop them from screwing with me, but it don't.
Right, and that was 2 involuntary commitments, and she's currently still there for like 2 more months.
Okay, now for what? Because all we got to do, folks, is civil commitment. A civil commitment is when they're a danger to themselves or others. Who decides how long they stay in this civil commitment, which is how long do they stay locked up? Until that doctor, a nice, honest doctor, like, say, Dr. Fauci, says that you're not a danger to yourself and others. Now, so if 10 years from now, what are the proceedings that there's no proceeding? This is the court. They don't have a court for civil commitment. That circumvents that whole deal. Mm-hmm. And so now you've got these folks running the deal decide whether or not you get to be free or not.
And another thing, in her one post she's been able to make since she's been committed, she said that she had just gotten some documents through Freedom of Information Act from the Air Force talking about the bioeffects of these types of weapons, and she was working on a report that she was going to publish about that.
Okay, there is no whistleblower protections. We need whistleblower protections, and folks, there is no whistleblower protections. And if you're a scientist or an engineer and you know too much, if you're not murdered or come up missing, you'll be Baker acted like Romola D.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tragic.
Folks, this could be your neighbor, your best friend, or your mother, or your dad, your brother, your sister. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Some of the brightest amongst us are being absolutely erased out of the equation. And when you start talking about the things that I'm talking about right now, that's not a popular subject. And Ty knows that. Now, Ty, you're in Mississippi. Have you always lived in Mississippi? Where's your geographical background?
So I was born and raised in Mississippi, and then after college, I moved out to California for a little bit and worked as a software engineer, and then I was out there for a little while, and in Oregon for a little while, but then I just moved back here about a year ago. Okay,
and were you when we talk about targeted? Have you been targeted? If so, what type of targeting have you been targeted with.
Absolutely. I've been targeted pretty much with the whole playbook that they use. Even so much as they stole pretty much everything I had and owned. I had my car taken away from me by I moved up to Oregon. Right after I moved up to Oregon, some guy who happened to be hearing voices just randomly, like I had known him for like 2 days, and he got mad because something inconsequential, like sitting on sunglasses, and he scraped all this mean stuff in every single panel of my car, and pretty much it ended up being totaled. And then a shady bank had hit me up on the way to Oregon, actually, and had wanted to do a refinance. And I don't know why they called out of the blue, but I was naive, and I just did it. And because they did that refinance, he had did so much damage to the car, and it was a nice car too, like an electric car, but he had done so much damage by scraping into every panel that it was totaled. But they worked on it for a month, so they left me out there for a month in Oregon, thinking that I was going to get it fixed, and then the same guy ended up really screwing me over, and like the same day that they told me that the car was totaled, he ended up like throwing me out of an Airbnb and chasing me out with a stick. And then I got in the rental truck that I had, because this is the day I found out that the car was totaled. I was still in the rental truck. And then the Oregon police, I can't remember the city, but they came because I actually told them to call them because some guy saw it happen. And they came out there, and they weren't concerned about the guy that chased me out there, that threw all my things into the back of the truck while it was raining.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're worried about me. And I'd like taken a sleeping pill the night before, but I wasn't even driving or anything. I was just a little groggy because he had woke me up, running me out, saying that I was gonna get his credit card charged, because he was helping me out because he felt bad at first. But it turns out, he just wanted me there so he could lure me, so he could get me arrested, basically.
Now, when we revisit these things, Ty, is it a possibility that this nut job that was coming after attacking you was being manipulated, controlled?
Absolutely. He showed all the signs.
So he's being controlled.
At the time, I didn't.
What about the law enforcement and that got involved in the deal? Is there a possibility that they too were being manipulated?
Absolutely. And there's actually a whistleblower who, Brian Coffrin, who came out. He worked for Security Intelligence Solutions, or SIS, and they're actually one state above in Washington. They do a lot with Amazon, but they're a private security company, and he whistleblew on them. He said that they were luring people up and pushing them into homelessness, which after this event, I was pretty much thrown on the street without a car because they impounded the rental truck, and then I didn't have the car anymore. So like they just threw me out there, and I barely knew any people because I just moved up there. So it was pretty much textbook what Brian Coffrin had accused his former security company of doing one state up in Washington.
Okay, so that's another show there. The homeless, we know that the homeless people are talking about missing. Not only that, 300,000 children in the hands of CPS annually. They can't tell us where all those kids are going. We think we know. And so this evil, the planet is taking care of not only their evil and their fetishes and their religion. They're the ones holding the tools, and we're sitting back and say, well, how do we stop it? 6G is here for all practical purposes. We are in this mesh network of frequencies, folks, and it's not just having. You're concerned about good sales, and get good sales signals, and all this stuff, and I can watch. But the beast, these algorithms, all these things, you think is just the way it is. It's more than just the way it is, and we've got to demand. Protections, especially in the United States, protections for our cognitive rights. And right now, there's nothing. You can't see. There's nothing you can do. you can't take matter to the court and say they're in my head manipulating when people say, what? We need to call, we got 5150 here. But so if we're not talking about these things, folks, and laying out, and nothing, absolutely nothing Ty is talking about, and his, and you can go to his site, neuropsychwar.org. What is it?
Yeah, and my Substack has stuff when I really.
Okay.
Substack is also neuropsych warfare.
Neuropsych warfare at substack.com. And I'm going to try to have those links in the description here. I'm going to have this on Substack for those that are at USAGSA at Substack or Neuropsych Wars on Substack. I encourage you, if you're not a subscriber, to subscribe and to share it relentlessly. This, folks, was kind of I went longer than I wanted to. I always do. That's the way it is. But there's no way you can really dip this thing in the bud and just keep it short and sweet. So I want to just introduce Ty to everybody, and then we want to get you back on Ty and let Ty go into and share this information that he has step by step. So I encourage you to subscribe and stay tuned, and we're going to give it to you. And I do welcome your comments down there below. Comments, questions for me, Ty. We welcome that. And here, as soon as we can, Ty, we'll get back on here and expound on what we just simply introduced today. Does that sound good to you, Ty?
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Okay, folks. Until next time. God bless you.